Yeah, welcome back to the Zero Camera Podcast. And today we're going to talk about another comment that I got on a video that was a short. Surprise, surprise. That is actually where this came from. So I made a short the other day about cars that were heroes, that basically died heroes, and cars that lived long enough to see themselves become villains. Somebody commented something under that I thought was actually a pretty good topic. Cars that would have been heroes if they'd just been called something different. I think we obviously have some that come to mind.
Yes. I think I even remember one of these on the list just firing off immediately. Like, that would have been a banger if they just changed the name.
Yes. And so if you guys have any that you think would be good that you want to comment, just comment those below. Like and subscribe. Do all that stuff. We're saying it now at the beginning of the episode, not the end, because we know you never make it. So for the 15 of you that clicked on this video, thank you. We appreciate it. And go watch our short form content because that's where everybody else is. But if you comment and like stuff on these, we're more likely to see it, and then you're actually going to get to be a part of the conversation.
We like you guys.
We'll get started.
The dirty shorts commenters, though. Some of you guys. I thought I had bad opinions. That's why we made a podcast. But some of you guys, I'm glad you guys don't have $200 to afford podcast mics.
Yeah. So anyway, I think the first off the cuff one, as everybody's been talking about, it's I think the biggest probably enthusiast naming blunder that I've seen is the Mach E.
Yes,
Mustang.
I would agree with that. And because I
don't actually think it was a naming blunder, though. I want to be very clear.
No, I think it was very intentional. But I think you also have to be able to have, 5 ounces of gray matter in your brain case to comprehend that.
This is the thing. The Mustang Mach E looks good because it was inspired by the Mustang design language.
Yes.
Every other EV crossover on the market does not look that good. I think the closest to looking good is the Blazer EV.
I don't remember what that looks like offhand. I got to look that up real quick.
It's okay. It's not great, but the Mustang Mach E is easily the best looking, and that's because they took the Mustang design language. If they hadn't taken the Mustang design language, I don't know. Do you really think if they hadn't done that, they wouldn't have also called it the Mustang Mach E? Would they just called it the Mach E?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they probably.
But then if
wouldn't
they called it.
But
then if they called it the Mach E, would people have been upset that they used the Mach name?
I mean, yeah, the Blazer EV does not look awful. I do think the Mach E looks better by a wide margin, truthfully.
I like the Mach E.
But I actually am a big fan of the Mach E. I've actually said, I don't know if I've said it on here on the podcast, but I have said that for the limited scope of interest I have in EVs, right? That if I was going to buy an EV, it'd be a Rivian R1T, and the second thing would be a Mach E. So
yeah. So let's think about this, right? Assume the style stays the same, the design language stays the same. What would you have called it? If it wasn't Mustang Mach E, what would you have called it? And we're gonna throw out Mach as well because Mach 1, right? That's tied to the Mustang name. So. Honestly, let's just consider that it all has to go.
I probably would have imagined they probably would have just gone for another branding blunder, but I feel like it probably would have been worse. And they probably would have called it just an E-scape or something like that.
Oh, that would have been terrible.
That would have been awful. But
oh no,
I mean, I feel like that's something, either that or the E Explorer or something like that. If they try to go a little more rugged with it.
Explorer. Well, that's the Blazer EV, right? They've kind of been doing that sort of weird.
So I feel like they would. I feel like because there's been a lot of that kind of trend in the EV scene that that probably would have been a thing. Something awful like that. But
what is Ford's most famous SUV? If you think Ford SUV,
Explorer. Bronco.
Yeah, Explorer and Bronco. And this isn't going to be called a Bronco, not with that design language. That would have been bigger screw up than Mustang Mach E.
Oh, that would have been something. Unless they called it a Bronco E, but then they would have had to square it off. There's no way it would have been as sports-like as it is.
Yeah. I think you just have to stick with the Mach E name. I think that
No, the Mach E is actually a good name. I think.
I think that would have been okay.
Yeah.
And then keep the Mustang badge off of it. Keep the horse off.
Yes. Yeah. If they did put the horse on it, they just called it a Mach E. I feel like more. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if it would be wildly successful as the Mach E versus the Mustang Mach E.
I do think the Mustang name helped.
Well, and so
because of normal buyers who don't care.
That, but also enthusiasts really don't realize half the time that they are just a really loud, megaphone. Yeah. So when they called it the Mustang Mach E, you just had a bunch of people bitching and moaning that it was a Mustang.
It's not a Mustang. It's not a Mustang.
And so, all it did was just keep the name relevant in people's heads. And so,
occasionally I'll have to ask you, maybe you remember. So occasionally, right, there are things that I remember from when I worked at a company versus whether this actually happened. So I don't. Mm-hmm. Did they do officially a GT? I can't remember.
Mach E GT?
Mach E GT.
That is a thing.
I think they did. Okay.
It is a thing. There's also a Mach E Rally,
which I like a lot better.
Yes. Actually, I like both. I like the Rally, but I think the Rally's kind of childish. If I was going to buy one, I would buy a Mach E GT because the Mach E GT is still the all-wheel drive, the dual or tri-motor, the better Rally setup, more power, more everything, bigger battery.
Do anything other than just looking good?
The Rally?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Supposedly the how the traction control system works in it is different. Yeah. And some suspension tuning stuff's different. It's got different wheels, tires, and it's got aero and whatnot, and
that's not the major stuff.
But my thing though for the not liking the Rally nearly as much is I just don't like the fog light placement. I feel like they really fumbled that.
I'm a 34-year-old man that wears his hat backwards still. I'm fine with childish.
It just the fog lights give off the same kind of frog-like vibes that the Juke does, but kind of in a different way.
But we did an episode earlier where I said the Juke is guilty pleasure. So.
Yes, no, 100%. Yeah. And so I get that, but I just think that I don't know, it's just a little weird. I think the GT looks better. Shelter green GT.
Oh, they're so good looking.
I'm sorry. I think the color on the Mach-Es is actually eruption green. I think shelter green is for the trucks, but the green.
I keep trying to convince Austin that he needs to get the Rally wheels for the RS because it's the same pattern.
Yes, honestly, if he was going to get something that OEM option wise, that's.
I feel like Hannah might have told me that they don't fit somehow though. I think it might not be. I think the hub bore might be the problem.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. I'd have to double look at it. But going back to your comment about if they'd called it the Bronco, right? So there is another company that made that blunder, and it's Chevy.
Yes.
With the Blazer.
Uncommon Chevy L.
It's why? I don't know why they called it the Blazer.
Yeah, I don't.
Right, they needed a car to compete with the Edge. I understand that.
Yes.
Because there was a period there where the kind of bigger but not quite 3-row SUV thing was doing pretty hot. It was hot.
I don't know why they thought the Blazer was the correct name to attach that though. Because the Blazer should have been a Bronco competitor. They should have brought that as a body on frame 4Runner Bronco competitor.
They just needed to take the Colorado platform.
Yeah.
And make an SUV
They already did it before. It was an H2.
Yeah.
Or H3. Yeah. Sorry. I think it's an H2.
Yeah. And I'm just why didn't we just that would have Blazer, boom, done. And
that would have been a better plan for sure.
Only Ford was hey, we're gonna make a move on the Wrangler. Ford's we're gonna make a move on the Wrangler, and it worked pretty well.
I'm so glad they did because the Bronco's fantastic.
I have not driven one. I have wanted to.
If you've driven,
I really want to.
If you've driven a Wrangler, I promise you, a Bronco is minimum 10 to 15x better.
Okay.
It is phenomenally better. They you drive the Bronco down the freeway and you don't feel like you want to turn into the guardrail.
I have to wonder I haven't looked because I just haven't really kept up with off road. But like, what is the actual performance difference between, let's say, like a Wrangler Rubicon and like what is it? Sasquatch is the top package on the Bronco.
No, so I there's like a Raptor trim and whatnot. I think
Okay, fuck Raptor.
Sasquatch gets you, I believe, 35-inch tires and I think lockers. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but like, what's the like, you know, because like if we're gonna say like, because that'd be Rubicon 392 if we're talking Raptor, right?
Right. Yeah. I guess. I think if you get like I guess maybe I think like an Outer Banks or like a Sasquatch is probably like your Rubicon-esque competitor.
Yeah, like I have to wonder like how those do against each other off road.
I don't know that, so I unfortunately did not get to be a part of the team that got to go do the off road testing for that, because that would have been super sick.
Looks like Badlands might be it.
Yeah, I think that is the one like with like the winch and like all the extra stuff.
Okay.
And I will say, I think one of the best parts of the Bronco that Ford really is nailing on there was like the accessory department. I think we kind of talked about that with Slate before, but I think Ford is kind of doing a very good job with that. They also really nailed down. They wanted to make the Bronco much more livable on road because Ford understands that the Wrangler sucks on road, and the biggest complaint that Wrangler owners have is that it sucks on road. And because most Wrangler owners aren't on off road all the time, like most of them are on road. So
the Bronco is based on the Ranger, right? It's based on that like T6.
Yeah, so that new Ranger platform.
Yeah,
it is. I think it is.
It's based on that, which is derivative of the global Ranger platform that was before.
Yes,
it's not. I'm not going to say it's the same thing.
It's extended like it was 6 inches, I believe.
It was based on the same platform. So the Bronco is based on a tested, like it's like an evolution of like a tested, tried and true truck.
Yes. Well, and
the Wrangler
if anybody knows anything,
an evolution of itself, which was always this kind of like super off-road rugged thing, and then they made a truck out of it.
Yes.
So like that's I think why like they're just coming at it from very, very different directions, you know. I think that's why like 4Runner's good, and like why the 4Runner like had such a special place, because in the old market, right, it's like you had the 4Runner and you had the Wrangler. And the Wrangler was like, that's the heavy-duty off-roader, and the 4Runner is like, hey, this is the trail car that's going to do a really good job, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, seeing, though, that, like, the Bronco took it in a direction where they're like, hey, we're going to do this specifically targeting the Wrangler and not trying to be its own separate thing. Everything good?
Yeah. Yeah, I just closing something out over here.
Okay. But yeah, like I think that's what's interesting to me about the Bronco is that they took that same path.
Yeah, no, and
but they went a different direction with it.
100%. And the the Bronco's got a better turning radius. It just handles its on-road characteristics are a lot better. I would really love to take it off-road. I do think I don't know offhand, but I do think the Rubicon does outperform it in some categories. I think it does. I think it kind of goes blow for blow. But I think in a objective like standpoint, like what's just off better in X amount of situations, I think the Rubicon probably does beat it out. But I think the Bronco being better everywhere else really makes up for it. Yes. And I'm sure if you really I'm going to be using my Bronco off-road all the time, I'm very confident the aftermarket will more than make up for for what you're lacking there. So
I really wish Chevy would re-examine the Blazer as a 4Runner competitor.
Yes.
I don't want them to make a Wrangler competitor as I think about it. I want them to make a 4Runner competitor.
Yes. And I agree, because I think the Bronco is closer to a 4Runner competitor outside of the fact that the Bronco has a removable roof and the 4Runner doesn't.
Yes.
Because realistically, I like the Bronco, but I'd probably never buy one. I don't.
4Runner is more your what would work in your life based on the balance of stuff you do.
Yes. So there's a reason why I own a Tacoma, right? So if I was gonna replace that, I would replace the Tacoma with a 4Runner and honestly, if I didn't have to worry about towing, I would honestly just replace it with an FJ because I really like the FJ.
Yeah, I know you do.
So, but to me, like the Bronco is a really good step forward in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So, if Chevy actually put together like that Bison ZR2, I think is their Colorado like off-roader.
Yeah.
Like if they put together like that, but in a SUV format,
mm-hmm.
I think that's what people would want. Like I feel like that is something their buyers, their customer base would actually be like, yes, like finally, because otherwise you're gonna go just buy a 4Runner. Like,
I agree.
So,
yeah, I don't know what Chevy should have called the Blazer other than the Blazer.
I feel like they should have just gave it a new name. Like it should have just been a new IP.
I don't think there's anything they could have called back to that would have played.
No, and I do think I understand from a marketing perspective why these companies are calling back to these old names and they're trying to bring up the heritage stuff. Of course, because it's easy, right? And you could just retrademark something you already had before, and
it's cheap.
And like people, you had it before, so people are talking about it like, oh, you're bringing it back. Sounds better than you're introducing something new, right? Because it sounds different. But I do feel like everybody kind of is like, I feel like the 2020s, or like even like honestly 2015-ish plus, but specifically like 2020s, I feel like we are just in like remake hell.
Nostalgia hell.
Yeah, like everything is just a throwback these days. Like, oh, we're just remastering all the same games. We remaster all the same movies. We remake all the same stuff. And it's just like we are like in this concussive environment of like everything is just as it was, but now new. Flatten it. Just give everything the new, like the modern, like just take all the soul out of it and then give it to you new. And like that is, it's kind of boring, man. Like just
it's very boring.
Like make something that is competitive, that is new. We don't need the like Agreed. I feel like the new Blazer was just another Equinox. And I don't know how many different ways Chevy can just sell you an Equinox, but they're figuring out how to sell you an Equinox 15 different ways.
Yeah. So, speaking of long-running nameplates, where I think they named it wrong, I really think that, like, the Charger, the new Charger.
Yes.
Because not because it's still a Charger because they made a Charger EV, it's because they merged the styling with the Challenger.
Yeah, I feel like they did both of the cars a disservice by merging them and then just giving them the name they already had. I feel like they should have brought that and they should have just called it like the Barracuda or something like that. Like
I agree. It should have got a whole new name because
like if they brought it and they were like, oh, like we did the Charger, we did the Challenger, now we're bringing back the Barracuda. Like that, I feel like would have resonated with their audience a lot more.
I'm actually not so sure though because the EV launch thing. Like if they had done it with the twin turbo i6, the Hurricane motor.
Yeah. Well, and again, I still stand on the fact that I think they should have led with that.
I agree. They should have led with it.
I think they
if
put all their
Barracuda eggs, and then it sort of looked like a Challenger and a Charger at the same time, and then it was an EV. People would have been like, "This is the Blazer again."
Yes.
Like they did a disservice to the nameplate. But if it had been the twin turbo i6, I think we could have.
I feel like they could have saved it if they led with that, and they were like, "Hey, by the way, there's going to be an EV option." But again, I think they kind of put all their eggs in that basket, and I think part of that was like they didn't really have a choice. I do.
No, it's the administration.
I do think between administration and just like the overall health level of Stellantis as a brand, I think they kind of had to put all their eggs in that basket, which really sucks. Like that was I think what they did probably was their best play. For all of the situations, it's just like, yeah, dude, like, I understand why you did it, but I can't get behind
I can't get over. There's just something that feels wrong to me about the new Charger, like the look.
I mean, I've been seeing them for a while.
It doesn't mesh.
I've been seeing them for a while, due to testing and whatnot, and like, dude, I mean, every single I thought by now I might have liked them at least a little bit. Just, because you see something long enough and you're like, yeah, okay, I kind of appreciate
Stellantis.
But like, No, I look at them every time now, and it's like, I would never.
Stellantis seems to have had this weird superpower where they managed to make cars that look kind of not good, like at first, and then the more you see them, they grow on you. They kind of make like wife material cars, you know?
Like your wife sees it, loves it, and you're like,
Yeah.
babe, like, I think this is better.
And then you see it a bunch, and you're like, okay, I see it now.
And then you end up with one in your driveway, like, because you're like, all right.
And you look, and like eventually you're like, yeah, actually, I kind of like this. Like, it looks pretty good.
That's 100% how I felt about the Durango.
Yeah, that's how I felt about that Durango, the prior generation Cherokee, Compass, the Renegade. I hated the Renegade when I first saw it. I hated the Cherokee when I first saw it.
I wasn't even that big on like I was never really big into the Charger Challenger either. Like I thought they looked all right, but it just like never was my cup of tea. You know, again,
I really like
big
the new
body
Charger,
stuff, right? Like that's
like
just,
the previous gen. I really like those.
Yeah, but like this the most recent gen Charger I thought looked really good.
Yeah,
and then
until this one.
Yeah, and then this came out, and I was like, ugh. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with that.
It's the weird, like, sort of soft body lines on the side combined with, like, the hard, like, modern stuff on the front and the rear.
Yep, it really
just
clashes.
Doesn't flow. It doesn't flow. Yeah, so I think they misnamed that because
100%.
of how they styled it. If they hadn't styled it like a Challenger, they could have kept Charger.
Yeah.
Like, if they hadn't brought the Challenger, like, DNA into that design, could have stayed the Charger, but what the hell do I know? Because you can't call it like the Challenger, like that would be you know.
No, I think
those names don't mesh.
I think honestly, if they were going to do anything, they should have called it like a Barracuda, a Duster, you know, like there's so many other old names that they could have called back to that I feel like that they had a better chance with, and they didn't.
Yeah, they did it with the Dart before, so.
Yep. I mean, it's the same thing with Jeep using the Gladiator name, and like they could have just called it the Comanche.
Yes, I agree. Supra, Mark V Supra is another one where I just think, like, again, I think it's a great car.
I feel like they would have got
because of what it is versus what the name is.
Now, also, though, kind of like we were saying with the Mach E, I do feel like part of the reason why this car has gotten as much of attention as it has, and is you know, kind of hyped up as it is
because of the name.
Is because it's named a Supra, and because I feel like a lot of people, because of their constant conversation and bickering of whether or not it is or is not a Supra, I feel like they've kind of inadvertently made it one, based off of the fact that like they've now it is up there as like a car, but I do feel on the same train though, right, that not the Supra Mark V is not a Supra because it's a BMW. I feel like it's not really a Supra because, like, the Supra to me,
I think it's too sporty.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, like, the prior generation Supra was more of a Grand Tour. Like, that's not, you know, like
it's kind of a big boat.
What it is now is not how I envision a Supra. Like, when Honda remade the NSX, it was true to the NSX because it had a bunch of experimental stuff. You know, it was people were like, "Oh, it's too expensive. It's not affordable." That's not. The NSX was made to break the boundary. The boundary they wanted to break was, can we make an affordable supercar? And they did that.
Yeah.
This time around, they wanted to say, hey, can we make a supercar and can we put this together and utilize the best of our technology to do it? And they did that.
Yep.
So it was true to its name. I don't think this Supra is necessarily true to its name. I think this Supra is a great car. I will not discredit it. I think this is a fantastic car. I just don't think it's a Supra because it's a sports car. I think the Supra is a Grand Tour. Do you think they should have named it?
What do you think they should have named it? If it was had to be something else.
I mean, honestly, I feel like they probably should have called this this easily could have been like a 2000 GT. Like if they were gonna use an old name, like I feel like that would have been a better, or like a Toyota GT. Like that would have been I feel like a good name.
Yeah.
You know,
like if you could have had like a throwback-ish name without calling it the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I can see.
I think a 2000 GT is probably like one of the.
I think that's probably
one of the better.
It's been a while since I've looked at a 2000 GT, but yeah, no, I actually, you know what? Yeah, like especially if you go back like super far. You know.
Yeah.
Like, because those, like, yeah, as I'm looking at it, right, because it actually doesn't even have that that dissimilar of a silhouette, right? Like, it's still got the same sort of greenhouse setup to the
long
back,
front, sloped roof line, and like the 2000 GT was a sports car, not a Grand Tour.
Yeah,
this is a sports car, not a Grand Tour. Like,
it really is.
So I feel like I feel like they should have called it the 2000 GT. I feel like it would have been a better
that's
callback.
A really good one.
And like I think people the argument that people are like, oh, it's not a Supra because it shares with a BMW platform. I don't think that's a good argument. I think that's
did you want the car or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you want the car or not? If you didn't want the car, fine. You can make that argument.
And my thing is,
if you wanted that car, this is what it takes.
Yeah, and for the people who wanted this car that do not understand how this has to work in 2025 to get something like this, like you don't understand, because like go look at Supra sales. Go look at Mark V Supra sales. They have not broken like 10,000 units a single year. The highest year was like 7,000, and like I think this current year is like less than 3. Like they are not selling worth a shit. And like some people might think that, oh, well, they sold 7,000 units that one year. The worst selling year of the Mustang in history was 30,000 plus units.
Well, until now.
Well, yeah. Well, but this year hasn't closed yet. I don't know. Maybe they'll do a Christmas sale.
It's like it's not good.
No, it's not good. And it will probably be the newest worst year, but I'm pretty sure we're still north of Supra sales. So
yeah, I think it's still selling more than the Supra. Yes.
So, I mean, it's just, if you want things like this, you're gonna have to give some give and take. Otherwise, I guess complain, and then when Toyota says, okay, that's fine, we won't do any more collaborations. We won't collaborate with Subaru for another 86. We won't collaborate with BMW for that. And so what?
Yep, we're gonna do a naturally aspirated V8. That's I think what I heard is they're gonna do a new V8
for Lexus.
For the next Supra. No, for the next Supra. They're saying it's gonna be a V8.
Oh, I thought. No, Are you talking about the I thought there's the Australian like racing circuit or whatever, they're going to be sticking
maybe
the V8 in
maybe that's what it
Supra
is
over there, but
maybe that's what it is. I'll have to look into it. Either way though, if you want this in-house, if you don't want it to borrow from anything, from any other manufacturer, it's going to be a 6-figure car.
Yeah, you would.
It's going to be a Supra. Is going to be $105,000.
This would have cost what an LC500 cost.
Yes, absolutely. Because basically, they're going to take an LC500 and they're going to put Toyota on it.
Yes.
Actually, I would not be surprised to find out that the new Supra is just a Toyota version of the LC500 next gen.
And I wouldn't put it past them. And I think, honestly, I do think that would be the better move.
I would.
I agree.
I
think that's what they want. And I do think if they stick a manual in a LC500 chassis behind that 5-liter, they call it a Supra. I think that is the car that realistically everybody wanted a Supra to be. And
but then they're going to complain about the price.
Oh yeah, they're always going to complain about the price. They complained about the price on the new one, or on the Mark V.
That's true.
They're like, oh, 55 grand is kind of too much. No, it really wasn't. I mean,
dude, you're kind of broke. We all are. I'm sorry that you can't buy the new fancy thing.
Dude, like it's the life sucks right now. But I mean, the Supra at 55 grand was a good value.
I think so.
I think that was a well priced car. Yeah. I feel like I would be willing to bet that they are not making all that much money on those cars, if any at all.
No.
So,
I probably not. So, sticking on the Toyota vein.
Yep.
I have a potentially controversial opinion. So I think the Scion TC, first of all, shouldn't have died when Scion died.
I agree with that.
And I think when it came under the Toyota name, they should have called it the Celica.
I also agree with that. I think that would be a very fitting name for it, and I feel like the TC does really get an unnecessary amount of hate.
I agree,
and I think it gets hate.
I don't
because
love them.
No, I don't love them.
But they're
either.
better than people treat it.
Yeah, they are better than people treat them. But I do think that the TC is really kind of one of those cars that is like one of the last things that I feel like you could put. Like if I had a 16-year-old, son or daughter that was about to start driving, I couldn't afford to buy them something brand new, but I could afford to buy them something that would be relatively decent. And like I knew they had some level of interest in anything, and I wanted to have something that they felt like would be kind of cool, kind of sporty, and not suck entirely. I would put them in a TC. I think a TC is a great car.
Buying your kid a TC is like the equivalent of like your 16-year-old getting an old Civic back in the day.
Yeah.
They could mess with it. They could have a little fun with it. They could turn it into something. But it wasn't a beast out of the box.
So, here's my other thing, right? For that demographic, you're 16 to probably 25-year-olds, right? The people that are like getting out of college, the people who would be buying a car of that level, right? When we were 16 to 25, you could go buy something like a TC. You could go buy something like a Tiburon. Not it's a Hyundai, but like you could buy something that was like a spun,
kind of like the
sporty little. Yeah, I mean they're cute. They're, cute little cars. Like they're not they're for a high schooler,
but they're not amazing, but they're good.
Yeah, for a high schooler or a kid in college who wants something that's sporty, but it's going to be efficient, that you could drive around and like not absolutely go broke driving. Like it's a fun little car that you could beat around in, and I think it's but where is that now? You don't have anything like that anymore.
No.
Like when we've talked about
there
this
is no
before,
such thing as this sporty aesthetic.
Yeah.
Reliable, sensible front-wheel drive car.
It doesn't exist anymore.
No.
So like you can't just go get into something that's like going to be like, there is no Probe, there is no TC, there is no Tiburon, there's no nothing.
Tiburon, there's the closest is like what, a K4 kind of, maybe like an Veloster, like basically Hyundai might kind of make them.
Yeah, which kind of makes sense because you kind of see that kind of be the natural gravitation, but like for that demographic, right? But like it's kind of more so out of necessity than out of like design, because like it's not like they're like, yes, we're trying to give you something in this category. They're just straight up like, dude, like this is what we're gonna make, and like this is what you can afford. So I guess buy it or don't.
Yeah.
Like
actually, can you buy a Veloster anymore?
Actually, I don't think you can.
I don't think you can.
So yeah, I mean, what are your options? A Forte, a K5?
Yeah, like
an Elantra. I mean,
looking at sedans on Hyundai specifically, you've got the Elantra and the Sonata. That's it.
Yeah.
And then I guess Kia probably is. Kia has kind of become the kid brand.
But I mean,
let's call it the young brand.
There was even the Solara, at the time, like, I mean, there was other options, and like, you could get the Accord coupes.
You're not buying them a Soul, right?
No.
So, yeah, it's K4.
That's it.
Actually, yeah, because all the old stuff is gone. So like,
you can't get an Accord coupe anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
so if you're buying a Kia, you are buying a K4. Yeah. If you are buying a Hyundai, you are buying an Elantra. That's it.
And then other than that, options. You're going to a Corolla, Camry,
And those Corollas, I'm sorry, I hate those things. They're so ugly to me.
I don't necessarily hate them. Now, things that should have been given a different name, actually. I wouldn't say a Corolla is a hero by any means. But I do think they should
had a better history than it deserves.
Well, but I do think
than it has now.
I do think the Corolla hatch that exists currently, they should have just called it the Starlet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
think the Corolla as it exists now, like the hatch is kind of it was like the Cruise hatch. It didn't deliver on anything that it promised.
And I feel like it was just like one of those things that like it's kind of a letdown until we got the GR Corolla. But I feel like that easily could have just been a Starlet. And I feel like that would have been a better name than GR Corolla. Like,
how much, like, I'm trying to think about it. It's like, how much would these companies really be losing by just doing like a slightly sportier damper or spring tuning on these things? Like a hatchback like that, just to make it appeal a little bit more to the younger crowd. Like, why did the Cruise hatch have to be a floppy mess?
Yeah, that's a good, I don't know, really.
it just feels like they're not trying. Like they don't understand like who.
Yeah, I feel like they're like targeting like a buyer that's like I feel like the people they're targeting are buying up market.
Well, it reminds me of when this because right when the XB and the Soul and stuff came out, they expected that to be appealing to young buyers, and
Yes.
it really actually just mostly appealed to old people.
Yes.
And like I don't know, maybe they misunderstood that.
Well, I think that like when those cards came out, right? Like a bunch of people thought like I think the old people kind of were like, oh, this is kind of quirky, but like the ability to like get in and out of those so easy, and like the fact that like you had a great amount of space and all that, like they were very practical and pragmatic, and I think a lot of people were like, oh, I really like this. It's quirky, but it's so like it's just so good at everything. Like it's a good little car. It does all this stuff. It's fun. And like
they were incredibly practical. They were reliable. They were fuel efficient.
Yeah.
Like they were.
So like they were a great way to spend $15,000 at the time, right?
Yeah.
So like at that point, but you don't have anything like that, like I said anymore. Like you can't buy something that cheap. You can't buy something that's just that silly little,
You can still buy a Soul.
But
that's
not really. You still get that with the manual.
Oh God, no,
Okay.
I'm sure you can.
I didn't think so.
I should say I didn't double check. If you guys really are that interested, go to Motor Trend or Motor One or any of the other auto publications, because I guarantee every single one of them has done a cars you can still get a manual on 2026 article within the last 7 to 10 days. Guarantee it.
Probably.
You can find one.
Yeah,
you'll be fine. You don't need us for that.
I think that is. I think it is funny that you could get that in a manual. I mean, I guess it makes sense.
You used to be able to get most. You used to be able to get a lot in a manual.
I just feel like for like the Soul was never something I would imagine. Like you're like that. Like somebody was gonna buy this with the intention, like I want this to be a manual. Like
I mean, I had a Forester manual.
Yeah, but I don't
like
know.
An 09. Not like in the old boxy like.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking like the
days.
Soul is half a decade later.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
I think the Soul started like what, 2012, 13?
All right, guys, we're gonna
did the Soul
this will be
start?
the last thing I Google for the episode, because it's going on 9 and I'm kind of tired. So we're gonna do this last thing. We're gonna find out
when the Kia Soul started.
When the Kia Soul came out, 2008.
Wow. That's earlier than I thought.
It hit the U.S. in 2010 is what it looks like.
Okay, that checked out, because I was like,
yeah,
damn, I swear it was later than that.
But the thing is the Forester I had, right, was a 3rd gen Forester.
Yeah, it should be like.
That's really not that different. Like it's the same time frame that came out in 09.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So like 09, like
I guess I just feel like. Maybe because the Forester's already changed so much and the Soul is still very Soul. Like
the Soul is still very, very much the Soul.
Yeah, like it's
the new Foresters. I do not like the look of the new Forester.
Yeah, the newest one I'm not big on. I liked the last generation. The last generation I thought looked kind of sleek.
Sorry, I'm looking at the Wilderness or the Trail, whatever they call it, of the new Forester, and it's not good.
Yeah,
there's so much thick black plastic.
Something that I've kind of been really surprised about is that they've been really pushing for like the off-road kind of thing, right? Like the trail thing on Subarus, like with the Wilderness packages and stuff like that. And like, I really haven't seen anybody like doing anything with them. Like I've seen a couple videos like on Instagram of like, a person here or there, but like I never see like
nobody's going to.
It's definitely just like a LARPer trend.
Yeah,
like it's the LARPer trend.
Nobody was ever going to do anything with those. No,
I feel like I need to get like a Forester and like make a trail rig.
I
don't think so?
wouldn't. It's not like there's. We started off the last episode, I think, talking about the H6s and why it's a stupid idea to do an H6 because it costs so much money to make power you could make out of an EJ. And now you're like, yeah, let me take a unibody SUV that's not very off-road capable and dump a bunch of money into it.
Well, no, so I'm not thinking about like a like mud off-road, like the normal like Midwestern approach to like I'm thinking like
so you're just talking like a trail car,
yeah,
like just like being able to do like 2 tracks. You could do a 2 track in the forest or wilderness, no problem.
yeah.
They're just not interesting. That's why
I mean,
nobody posts the video.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like either that or maybe the LGBT members that are going camping in them and like actually doing trail shit in them are just absolutely having a fantastic time doing that, and like they're living a life
No, they all
not
bought
on the
Tacomas.
internet. Yeah, or they've all upgraded to Tacomas. But I don't know. Maybe they're just like in the woods in Oregon, like or Seattle or in Washington, where they're just like, yeah, life's so great not on the internet.
Is the Forester still like an LGBT car now, or is it just like
I think
is
Subaru's
it just traffic?
I think Subaru's still still the LGBT brand.
Like, I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're never gonna get rid of that.
Out of that, yeah.
I feel like they christened themselves with that title. They will have it.
I think probably a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's going away anytime soon. I think they're stuck with that one. They did that to themselves. Not that it's a problem. It's just I think it's
no. It's not a problem.
I think it's funnier that the Tacoma has started to like take up that mantle because.
So, here's my unoffensive theory on that. I think that the LGBT community is generally going to want to be a bit hipster-esque, right? Mm-hmm. Non-standard. I think that the Tacoma is
the non-standard,
the hipster choice for mid-size truck. Because if you really wanted,
I feel like in mid-size truck, it's like the default choice, but in a truck itself,
no, the default choice is a Colorado.
Really? That outsells the Tacoma?
I believe by like a fair margin, yeah.
Okay, that was your last Google, but now I have to Google this.
Like the Chevy Colorado was consistently rated like the top.
I feel like the older trim, I don't think the Colorado is moving like that. I feel like the Tacoma is outselling the Colorado. Maybe. I could be wrong, but man, I feel like that's a...
So 2025... so like 100,000 units, between 70 and 100,000 units. And like, okay, this is the time frame I was thinking of. No, for Colorado. So from 2016 to 2020, it was over 100,000 units a year, according to Good Car, Bad Car.
All right, hold on. I'm clearly having connectivity struggles over here. All right.
I'm trying to get it right now. So let's look at the same time. Okay, never mind. You're right. I did not know that the Tacoma sold that well. Holy Jesus.
No, I was just saying, dude, like, Tacomas, I'm pretty sure we're like that.
Okay.
They're putting out numbers.
Okay. I was not familiar with your game, Toyota. Damn. All right. I stand corrected. Maybe that is the Michigan in me, right? Like maybe that's the
that
I
might
spent too long in Michigan.
That might be. Oh, actually, okay.
Well,
so I'm kind of impressed by the Tacoma numbers scrolling down.
No, here. Right? Like those are legitimately really good.
Like I'm like, oh, okay. Like dang, like they're moving units. I'm not gonna lie. Like
I'm like the thing is, I think how did I not? I'm gonna do a little more digging on this one because Good Car, Bad Car can miss sometimes.
You can tell when the third gen Tacoma came out.
Yeah,
sales jumped like 30%. Like that is impressive.
Yeah. But I want to do a little digging on that because I just feel like I don't remember seeing Tacomas on like top 20 selling lists. And I feel like at $250 a year, I'd be seeing Tacomas on top 20 selling lists. And that might just be me missing something. But now I'm a little curious.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? Because I feel like $250 a year should be enough to get you on a top 20.
I mean, to be fair, like when like the F-150 is putting up 600,000-700,000. I mean, it's...
Yeah, but like after the trucks, like that's the top 5 slots, top 4 slots, and then you have the Camry CRV or whatever, and then like it should be somewhere down at 20.
Yeah, that's true. I guess.
Let me hold on. Best selling autos 2018. I'm pulling up Car and Driver article right now.
Okay.
I was planning on going to sleep, but now I'm like, okay, so the Jeep Compass is at the bottom here at 171.
Position
Forester 171. No, like that's how many they sold.
Okay. Yeah, so
Fusion 173, Outback 178, Elantra 2000. Hold on, we'll keep going. Sentra sold really well in 2018. Sierra, Cherokee sold 240,000 units.
And you should have Tacoma, right?
And there's the Tacoma holy fuck, how did I miss that? Okay.
So yeah, Tacoma.
You know, actually, this is the more surprising thing than that. It's the fact that in 2018 the Highlander sold 245,000.
Oh, damn, I didn't think I don't. Trying to think, like, I feel like where's the 4Runner? The 4Runner has to outsell the Highlander, right?
The Ford Escape sold 272. I'm going. Corolla sold 300,000 that year.
I kind of believe that. That sounds.
Equinox 332.
God, 332,000 people really did that to themselves. That's crazy.
412,000 bought Rogues.
You know what? Honestly, I'd take a Rogue over an Equinox. Shoot me, but I think I would.
There is not a 4Runner on the list, I don't think,
Wow.
unless I'm missing it.
So maybe the 4Runner sells less.
I guess the 4Runner sells a fair bit less. Cherokee's on the list at 240. Or not the Cherokee, sorry, the Wrangler.
The Wrangler.
But also the Cherokee was on the list. Dude, this really was the year of like Jeep dominance.
Yeah, it sounds like. I mean, I've heard you drop for quite a few Jeep names. So, I mean, Compass,
yeah, there's
Cherokee,
no 4Runner.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind of surprising.
Okay.
Well, maybe it was better earlier on, like 13, 14, but
okay.
But yeah,
so,
Taco
right.
is
right.
is the mid-sized truck. So
you're right.
That's why I'm like, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's kind of weird because I'll be honest. I've always associated, like, I would love to see the statistic of the ratio between registered Tacoma owners and registered concealed carry owners. That's what I want to see because I think that number is very close.
Pretty high, probably.
Like, I would be willing.
It definitely seems like it's a car that can kind of cross barriers there.
Yeah. But it is kind of funny that the Tacoma might be the choice between, like hardcore, like sovereign citizen level guys, and then also lesbians.
No, it's absolutely like it is. Well, the funny thing is, right? Like if you kind of ignore the sovereign citizen guys,
yep.
Like, I mean, let's not to be political, but I'll just mention it. The nominee for president of the last year for the Libertarian Party was a gay guy. Like very pro LGBT. Chase Oliver. He might, to be honest. I think he's in Georgia.
He might own a Tacoma.
Yeah. So
it's very real
right.
Possibility.
There is because you see a lot of bad press about it, about the libertarians, like from some of the more prominent like social media ones.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, they nominated a gay guy for president for the last cycle. So like there is a pretty big overlap between those two communities as you were questioning.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of it's interesting. Yeah. We need to get I'm gonna have to do a deep dive into the
socioeconomics.
Like
diversity and inclusion of the Tacoma.
I need to know. The Tacoma might be one of the most yes,
the Tacoma is the world peace car. It brings everybody together.
I mean, if you think about it, what does the Tacoma go by?
I can't think.
The Tacoma is just
the car enthusiast.
The Tacoma is just the Hilux overseas, and that's the freedom. That's the choice of freedom regimes all around the world. So I mean, like that. I mean, there might be something behind this Toyota Tacoma thing.
Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. That's it. We're done.
All right. So
thanks everybody.
Thank you for joining us.
Jesus Christ.
Get your Tacoma foil hats on for the next one. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. That was fun.
Now,
if you guys have any other cars you can think of,
I do. Before we go, I do think I need to ask you a question.
Yeah.
How far away are we from me getting beat to death with hammers?
What was the target?
I don't remember. We'll have to
we'll have to go back through.
Yeah, we'll have to cycle back to that. I think it was like.
Hold on. Was it for YouTube combined?
I think it was for YouTube.
I might be in danger. If it's YouTube, it's pretty bad.
I think I'm in danger.
We're at 36.
Okay, I think we're supposed to be at like 100, right?
Yeah. Well, we hit 100 on two different.
We did hit 100 on two different other platforms. Yeah. So thank you guys.
Sorry, I just opened the notifications. There was another hero car one. I said like I think like because I said the Chevy SS is like they died right.
Yes.
It died a hero, and I called it the American like the embodiment of the V8 American sedan. And people have just been like it's Australian, and I'm like I don't. The Australians did America better than us. Then I don't give a shit. Like that is the America sedan.
Yes. You know what?
But anyway,
I do think Continental should have been the latest generation Continental should have been named something else. I feel like they could have done better.
It should have been named something else. I would agree with that. Anyway, all right. We're at 36 subscribers. If it's 100 for other platforms, then you're safe,
guys.
Because we're over 100 on Instagram and TikTok.
All right, but you guys might want to get us to over 100 on YouTube before he changes his mind, because I don't want to be hit with hammers.
That's true. It would be really hard to do the podcast alone. So if he's gone, I might not do the podcast anymore. So.
And I still have to die from hammers. So.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yeah, please. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.